Hello. The day that this thought is broadcast is Wednesday, the 11th of November. And although on the previous Sunday, the 8th, in common with most churches all over the world, we have remembered the dead in human conflict on Remembrance Sunday, this is actually Armistice Day, the 11th day of the 11th month. Originally, Armistice Day was not a solemn act of remembrance. Originally, Armistice Day was an enormous outpouring of relief, celebration, just human release that the horrors of the preceding 4 years of war across much of Europe and parts of the East were over, even though there was a lot of rebuilding to do. It was a celebration and a release, a song, a shout, a human cry that it was over. And this year, 2020, because of the health situation, we were never really able to mark, as originally planned, the anniversaries of VE Day and VJ Day, 75th anniversaries. Although I did absolutely inadvertently find myself next to the 75th anniversary socially distanced open air service for the 75th anniversary of VJ Day in Axminster in Devon, of all places. And it was clear from looking at the people there, even though some of them were masked, that the losses at that time were real. And the opportunity for release in that service in the churchyard was also very real. Siegfried Sassoon, the poet, whose poem we'll hear shortly, was very much a victim of the First World War, as were millions of others. Wounded, and wounded mentally as well as physically. The war took an enormous cost on him. He was treated at Craiglockhart War Hospital, where Wilfred Owen was, as well. What we would now call post-traumatic stress disorder, they then called shell shock. The sense of relief that he felt at the end of the Armistice Day was palpable, and he wrote it down. But the horror sat on his heart, in some senses, forever. Sassoon expressed his relief in terms of an explosion of song, an explosion of joy, an explosion that was rather like a massive flight of birds that had been confined into the free air. Though pale in comparison, a lot of us feel chained. A lot of us feel confined. A lot of us feel that something is going on around us that we have no power to control, that is taking thousands of lives, for many of us, of people we have known, away from us, where everything is uncertain, where we feel imprisoned, encaged, where we feel that sometimes our mental well-being is being affected. We lose the sense of touch, of presence, of smiles, hugs, celebration, being in church, sharing the peace, being with our families, being with our friends and colleagues and neighbours, and just being fully human, as we're meant to be. And we also long, don't we, to sing For those who have a gift of singing, and even those like myself who have a slender gift of singing, singing is release. It is the equivalent of taking flight from the cage of our lives, which is why so many choirs flourish. Not like this rather COVID-confined choir we see in this picture. In the words of the poster, one day this sense of not being able to sing, not being able to be as we are meant to be, human, not being able to praise God, to be released, to sing as we would, will pass. And we will hear again the cry of the psalmist. Here's an extract from Psalm 95. O come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth. The heights of the mountains are his also. The sea is his, for he made it, and the dry land, which his hands have formed. Frequently prayed day by day at morning prayer. We are a people ready to be released into song. May God do that for us, and may God also release our spirits and our hopes like the vast crowds of birds that Sassoon had in his imagination into flight, throwing our cages open and letting our wide wings feel the joyous air of praise and the presence of God. Everyone sang by Siegfried Sassoon. Everyone suddenly burst out singing, and I was filled with such delight as prisoned birds must find in freedom, winging wildly across the white orchards and dark green fields, on, and out of sight. Everyone's voice was suddenly lifted, and beauty came like the setting sun. My heart was shaken with tears, and horror drifted away. Oh, but everyone was a bird, and the song was wordless, and the singing will never be done.